You're listening to the Jefferson Exchange. I'm Mike Green. Today, we're shining a light on an educational alliance in the Klamath Basin designed to address critical personnel shortages in local emergency services. Supported by a new awarded grant from the Oregon Health Authority, Klamath Community College, Klamath Union High School, and Sky Lakes Medical Center have united to launch an innovative emergency response operations training program. This initiative will allow students to earn dual high school and college credits while preparing directly for vital careers in emergency medicine, firefighting, and criminal justice. Joining the exchange to tell us more, I have two guests. Dr. Stephen Hobbs is the Dean of Allied Health and Sciences at Klamath Community College. Welcome to the exchange, Dr. Hobbs.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And Carly Lynch is the Rural Health Transformation Administrator at Klamath Falls City Schools and the project administrator for this program. Welcome, Carly.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Dr. Hobbs, let's start with the problem that this program is addressing. Tell me about the need for EMTs and firefighters in your region.
Oh, absolutely. So Southern Oregon and Northern California, actually, we're very rural. We do not have enough EMTs. We do not have enough firefighters and so on. We do have a very large volunteer service. That also means that nobody's actually able to be, paid. That means they're not actually out there doing that job primarily. They're doing something else, and then when something happens, then we pull that up. But what we would like to do is increase that number of firefighters and EMTs so that we can service the service districts that we're out here serving, really and truly. So if you were to drive, east of 97 in Southern Oregon, there's somewhere between 45 minutes and 2-hour response times, depending on where you are in Oregon. That's so if you're in a car crash, it may take 2 hours for somebody to actually get out there.
Okay.
So we don't have enough.
So that's life or death.
You got it.
Okay, so when you talk about you don't have enough, give me a sense of how many do you have?
I really wish that I could give you that number, but a lot of times the volunteer numbers are not actually published.
Gotcha.
Here in Klamath County, we only have one district that's paid, and that's District 1. All of our other districts are volunteer.
And that fluctuates, I imagine.
Correct.
So, Carly, how does career and technical education programs, CTE programs like this, offer a solution for both the students and the community?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that you're seeing now there be a big turn, especially in the state of Oregon and really heavily in Klamath Basin, is that there's a big push towards these career and technical education programs such as health occupations, engineering, robotics, culinary, and you're seeing students now where we're trying to integrate them at a really young age, where they're coming in as freshmen and we're exposing them to different types of career paths that they have an option to. So for health occupations specifically, we're trying to show them an on-the-job training where there's introduction classes at a high school level, and then as they progress throughout their high school time, we're hoping by their senior year of high school, there is either some form of internship that they're doing off campus for periods, the later half of the day or maybe the earlier half, and they're actually getting exposed to real world problems and careers. And so in this career and tech ed world that we're living in is we're really trying to change the projection of how kids are going to go into the workforce. You really see Klamath County has taken the bull by the horns, and they want to have the autonomy to be able to really invest in their students and really invest in their future employer.
So tell me about the investment, as you mentioned, from the Oregon Health Authority.
So Oregon Health Authority released a grant called RHTP, Rural Health Transformational Programs. And what the grant was there was a couple different tiers of levels that you could go after. Specifically, Klamath Union High School decided to go after it from the perspective of let's continue to really work towards our health occupations program. Now, one of the pros that we had going, so Klamath Falls City School District was the only district in the state of Oregon that received grant funding. And I really attest that the reason that we received that was because we didn't just look at the grant and go, we have a good idea. We've been doing it long before there was grant funding, and that's because of Sky Lakes Medical Center, and that's because of Klamath Community College, because they believed in the workforce. So when we applied for the grant, we were having a lot of letters of support across the basin of people who were like, yes, we believe in this project. Yes, we want to support however we can. And that's really what set the tempo for us receiving the funding.
Well, Dr. Hobbs, it's fascinating that students as young as 16 can obtain their ambulance driver's license through this program. Can you walk us through the career pathways available for, once these students graduate?
Certainly. So at 16, they can do their EMR, which means they are able to drive the ambulance and other emergency vehicles as necessary as they are trained. They have to have their driver's license to begin with to get into that, but this is definitely going to set that foundation. Not only that, but they can also then start to train into getting in their EMT license certifications. We can continue that as well if they would like to use one of our partner institutions as well to go from an EMT to a paramedic, or they can move over into firefighting. They would like to do structure or wildland fire. We also have those programs. So the main focus for this is to introduce those students in high school so that then they can utilize what we refer to as our College Now program. And we actually bring those, high school students onto the college campus and allow them to kind of explore which, professions they are interested in. And then we can, use intentional advising and get them into that program. So we want to make sure that their time, their effort, their energies, whatever they're putting into this, we are actually going to have a certification for them at the very, very end of that.
Gotcha. So what's the timetable from the time that they entered the program to the time that they've got a certificate and are now in the workforce?
Well, with the EMR, they can go in at 16. They've got a job waiting for them. We just need to get them out there, get them licensed so that they can do this. But really, if they're going to be an EMT or a paramedic, they have to be 18. So that's where the intentional advising comes in. We have to make sure that the time that they spend is also going to kind of coincide with that time where they're able to sit for their exam so that they can get that license. So we don't want to, graduate a bunch of 17-year-olds that have to then wait a year to be able to sit for their exam. So generally 2 years.
I got you. My guests are Carly Lynch from Klamath Falls City Schools and Dr. Stephen Hobbs from Klamath Community College. We're talking about a major grant from the Oregon Health Authority that supports a new emergency response operations training program with students at Klamath Union High School. Now, Carly, your program is starting strong with roughly 120 high school students enrolled this fall.
Correct. Yeah, and the reason it looks a little bit different for us, so when you talk to different educators from around Klamath Basin, you're going to notice that Health Ops programs at every single high school look a little bit different, which going against the grain, you do want them to look different because every student population is different across the basin. So for us specifically, we started a little bit slower with Health Ops programs being more introductionary, where we were able to do intro classes and then bus our students to Sky Lakes, where Sky Lakes was doing a very similar model where they were bringing a nurse practitioner down to teach our students and then give them on-the-job training as well. Now, what KCC is doing is, once again, meeting our students on their level in a really unique way. So as we still have freshmen in high school, sophomores in high school, who are still trying to figure out, what jobs are and, all the different questions that high school students have, we asked Stephen Hobbs, Stephen, would you send us some of your instructors where they could teach alongside of our teacher of record who will be giving them the training properly for how KCC wants to train our students. So hopefully then they are then coming on to KCC's campus. This is a really unique model. And again, where Klamath County is really setting the bar because we are wanting we're changing the way education looks, that versus it being this is the high school and then this is the college. We want to bring the college into the high school so they're able to see, oh, that's going to be my instructor when I'm taking my, XYZ class. Or I heard this story from this instructor talking about how he also came from a similar background than I did. So there's really that connection that our students are staying in their safe environment on campus, being able to make mistakes here on campus. We want them to mess up. We want them to, maybe give a bad resume or fail a practical that they're doing. That's great because we're wanting to give them that at the high school level. So their success rate then is going higher. So you're really seeing Stephen and KCC as a whole and Sky Lakes addressing a larger problem, which is our workforce development, where the type of student that we are producing at the high school level is going to be employable. They're going to know employability skills across the board, not just the tactical things of what to do on the ground, but how do you talk to adults? How do you look them in the eye? How do you shake their hand? How do you have these employability skills to make them better societal humans that are within Klamath County?
So all those soft skills that are so important are part of this. There's also this idea of sharing equipment as well, not just the teaching personnel. I'm curious as about if you've got a fully outfitted ambulance, physical training gear, breathing apparatuses, how does the college and the high school share this equipment? Dr.
Well,
Dr. Hobbs?
Oh, sure. So with this grant, even before this grant, if any of our association needed to borrow or utilize in some fashion any of our equipment, we're happy to work with each other. This just gives us the ability to buy state-of-the-art, brand new, not previously used equipment, things like that, so that we can show them this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what it is supposed to be. If we had very top-notch equipment, this is what we would look for. So in this grant, that's actually what we're trying to do. We're utilizing this so that certain equipment, such as the SCBA, which is self-contained breathing apparatus, that can be moved. So we can take that equipment from the college and take that to the high school, or take that from the high school back to the college when the students come back. So if they're already familiar by the time they get on this campus. A lot of this stuff is also mobile. So if we were to purchase something like an ambulance, we can drive that over there.
Okay.
They could house that if they needed to, or we could do so. We do have space for that as well. So the utilization of the equipment, that's not a problem at all. We've already agreed to do that. We've done so between KCC, KU, and Sky Lakes. We've been doing this. So this is just kind of reinforcing that.
Gotcha. So, Carly, I understand that this award is split into two distinct projects over 2 years, partnering with the college in the first year and Sky Lakes Medical Center in the second. So how do these organizations collaborate to build this smooth transition for students moving from the classroom to real-world clinical environments?
Yeah, so it's actually not split in year 1 and 2. It's actually split. It's $5.2 million that's split in where KCC is getting a portion of it now, Sky Lakes is getting a portion of it now.
Gotcha.
And then period 2 is the same type of structure, just depending on the dollar amount. So the plan kind of moving forward is with our Sky Lakes partnership is really continuing to grow what we call the Health Occupation Center. That's really a place where students from the entire basin, Bonanza, Lost River, Klamath Falls City School Districts, the county, are all welcome to come onto the actual campus up there. Where KCC is that now their portion of the pie is their personnel that they're receiving, and really starting to grow where they're getting more financials to be able to get the state-of-the-art equipment that Stephen is talking about.
Okay, so how do you plan to sustain this pipeline once the funding is gone?
So the RHTP grant runs for a period of, they call them pay periods, 5 different periods. So currently the state of Oregon has released periods 1 and 2, and those were awarded. It's public information who's received funding. Those have been awarded. After you show the growth and you show the partnership, you are able to apply for periods 3, periods 4, and periods 5 for additional funding of the same amount or not more, depending on how you're showing your progression. I think the sustainability is that when you live in a county like this that's isolated, that we're not on the I-5, we have 2 really strong colleges, a phenomenal community college, a great, Oregon Tech is another great partner that we have, is that we find ourselves having to really try to work together and be creative with the resources that we have. And I think that's historical across Klamath Basin is you're constantly like, what do you have? Can we share it? Exactly what
Okay.
Stephen was saying.
Oh, we're going to have
So
to
the
leave it there. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but you're both doing a great job, and I appreciate it very much. My guests were Carly Lynch from Klamath Falls City Schools and Dr. Stephen Hobbs from Klamath Community College. I'm Mike Green. You're listening to the Jefferson Exchange on the News and Information Service of Jefferson Public Radio. And that's it for today's JX. JeffExchange.org is our website where you can find these conversations and more. Natalie Golay is our senior producer, and Morgan Ackley is engineering our show. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.